Thank you for coming to today's information session to learn more about the Bachelor's of Arts in Criminal and Justice Studies with UMass Dartmouth Online. We appreciate the time that you've taken out of your busy day to be here with us today, and we're excited about sharing with you the opportunities of advancing your education with UMass Dartmouth and specifically why you should consider UMass Dartmouth for achieving your next educational goal. My name is Ann Barrialt, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions for Online and Continuing Education in the Admissions Office. Along with us is Julie Anderson, and she's an enrollment specialist. She is a key individual who will be there to answer any questions you have about the program, about applying, and help navigate with you the process from submitting your application to decision and enrolling and connecting with your academic advisor and enrolling in your first course. Also with us is Shannon Gordon-Scott. He is the Assistant Director of Advising, Support, and Retention. He will share with you the phenomenal resources that we have to support students as they move through the program with his team of advisors and support personnel. This session is being recorded so that we can share with those who were not able to join with us today, as well as provide you a copy of it for review and reflection down the road. But we're always just a phone call away or a text away if you have any questions. So do feel free to give us a call at any time. Throughout the session, the chat feature is available, allowing us to share questions throughout the session, which we'll answer at the end. So what we hope to achieve today is we're going to share with you a little bit about online learning and how UMass Dartmouth approaches its asynchronous format, an overview of the Crime and Justice Studies program with some learning outcomes and curriculum, the admission requirements if you do consider to apply and enroll with UMass Dartmouth upon acceptance, additional helpful resources that we have here at the institution that will help you to navigate and move forward with finances and other academic support. And lastly, we'll use the end of the time to answer questions and in a very casual environment. We anticipate the session to take no more than 30 minutes for sharing the presentation, and there's a few minutes thereafter for questions and answers. So in today's academic setting, you have many, many choices of who you could choose to pursue your bachelor's degree. So why UMass Dartmouth? We do work very hard to deliver a quality academic experience, both in and out of the classroom. We have the full commitment of our faculty, the academic resources, and the administrative side of the operations. And together, due to that effort, we have been ranked number 4 Massachusetts and number 6 New England, as well as number 70 in the nation by US World and News Report for the best online bachelor degree program. And that is a huge success for us to be recognized by this prestigious report. It does speak to the return on investments that our students experience both in and out of the classroom during and after they've earned their degree. We've been also recognized by College Choice, ranked 7th in the nation for most affordable online bachelor's degree. And we do pride ourselves in that for keeping the cost for tuition as at a competitively priced level so that you may reap the full benefits of your investment of earning your degree. And lastly, we are a military-friendly school which we've received the Bronze Award this past year by creating a dedicated administrative office that works directly with veterans for their time that they've spent in their service, to work with them with their educational benefits that they have earned, as well as their families. It is a resource that we have been very committed with our strategic plan, and because of that effort, it has been recognized. So we're very proud of that. These are just a few reasons why UMass Dartmouth is a primary or optimal choice for pursuing your degree. What I'd like to do now is to hand it over to Julie, who will now speak with you about what our online learning is about and how we approach our online learning.
Good afternoon, everyone. Why would you want to choose an online course at UMass Dartmouth? We offer a variety of programs and courses that you can choose from. It is a lower cost than if you attended on campus. And the same faculty who teach the face-to-face programs also teach the online courses as well. It's convenience and flexibility. It's a more comfortable learning environment, and we have a diverse student population from the United States and internationally who bring a wealth of experience and culture to classic discussions. And you can continue and advance in your profession. What is asynchronous learning? Asynchronous learning basically is you don't have to you don't have to log in at a certain time. You can log in whenever you like. This particular style of learning was designated for people that are working full time or have families. You can log in the morning, noon, or night, or just on the weekends. You will get you will learn on your own schedule. You will get a syllabus from the professor the first day of classes, and you will email the professor all the coursework that you have done. And you also get to interact with other students online using the chat or any Zoom features. Our online course schedules, we have fall, spring, summer, and winter in the session. Fall and spring usually have 7 and 14-week sessions. Summer has 3 to 5 to 7-week sessions, and our winter session only has 3-week sessions. You can attend part-time or full-time, and you can choose how many courses you want to take each semester.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shannon Scott. And as you look at this slide, I want you to think about the fact that this Bachelor of Arts in CJS will help you gain transferable skills. So these are skills that you can transfer for entrance into various career fields. You're going to get a lot of critical reading, critical writing, critical thinking with this degree that you can use to gain entrance into various fields. Now, some students will parlay their undergraduate degree in CJS right to law school. That's the Juris Doctorate. But know that others may seek graduate work in various fields, such as sociology, psychology, social work. It's again an adaptive major, the CJS. You can take it in various directions. And also know that some students like to look backward from their career to undergraduate major. Students are often thinking about what they want to do as far as their career, and then what undergraduate major will help get me there. So I would encourage you, if you're thinking kind of in that way, to visit bls.gov. That's the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. A fantastic website that contains state and area data on professions, and they have a how to become one section. And again, when you're thinking about this major, knowing what career fields it can help you into will help you in that regard. All right, slide, please. So the curriculum, it's important to note that our CJS program is broader and more socially encompassing than a law enforcement program. It is not a police academy of sorts. It's much more broad. It takes into account much more of a societal aspect. What is crime? What is justice? Our CJS majors cover more than crime scene procedures and criminal forensics. That is not what this program is. And I think a good way to get a sense of what our program is to look at some of the required courses. And so let's take a look at the next slide. And so you can see here on the left, you have what we call our core or foundation courses. And I've taken the liberty to, in my slides here, just read some of these course descriptions so that, again, you have a sense of what you'll be learning in a CJS major. And the 256, CJS 256, the Criminal Justice System, Introduction to the American Criminal Justice System, discuss the core components of the criminal justice system, including law enforcement, courts, corrections. Throughout the course, students learn about the relationship between these components and the challenges that the criminal justice system currently faces. So you can see how this is much broader than something like crime scene investigation. And then the 257, another important foundation course in the major, examination of the meaning of justice across a variety of contexts. The aim of this course is to develop historical, structural, social, and ethical analyses of justice applicable to contemporary social issues using case studies and social processes. Contradictions between theory and practice are highlighted. Now, for me, I know as a former philosophy major, you can't study justice without studying Plato. So this is going to cover a wide array of thinkers and societal takes on what is justice. And again, this is to give you a sense of how broad this major is and the kinds of things that you'll be learning. And then over there on the right, you see that as a CJS major, you would have 4 elective courses. And this is just a sample, but you can focus on a topic or an area of interest to you. And I would ask the students, when you look at this sample, what do you think you might like to take as far as these elective courses? Some of these look very interesting: law and society, mental health and justice. So all kinds of courses, very interesting topics, and you would get 4 electives to choose from. And I hope that gives you a sense of what this major is about, how broad it is, and the kinds of things you would be learning. Now, as far as transfer credits, our transfer policy is pretty standard across higher ed, and I like to think that it's very student friendly. And we do review military credits, and these are often transferred in as electives. We're military friendly in that way as well. But I think the important thing that we do with your transcripts and your transfer credits is determine UMass D equivalence. And that's important because then we take those equivalencies and we plug them into your CJS curricula so that you know when you start at UMass Dartmouth exactly the courses you have to take to complete and the number of credits that you need to graduate and finish your degree. And so that's why we need all of your transcripts from all the institutions attended so that we can plug those in so you know exactly what you have remaining. And again, I like to think that we're very student friendly as far as our transfer credits, but it's important to get those to us.
Okay, the admission requirements for this program is you have to submit an application, which is online, and it's www.umassd.edu/online ready to apply. It is a rolling admissions, which means if you do not, let's say for fall 2023, the classes begin September 6th. If you do not have your application completed by then, we can still push it over. That's why it's called rolling admissions. High school transcripts, like Shannon was speaking about, we do need the official transcripts. Has to come from the school. Many schools will email it to us, and they can email it to online@umassd.edu. Like Shannon was also saying, we need all the transcripts. I get this a lot. I have students that went to a college for a few semesters, transferred over those credits to another school, and then we don't have the transcripts. We need all transcripts from every school that you have attended, so that way they can, the advisors can look at all the transferable credits that you may have. So it's very important to supply everything. Okay, and you also need a personal statement. And if you're an international student, depending on what country you are from, you will need a TOEFL, Duolingo, or IELTS exam. And all the international students who they've taken some classes in another country, on the transcripts, we do need a CED or WES evaluation, and that has to be official as well. The enrollment process, the way it works is you apply online, you submit everything of the application that the application is calling for. Once you submit everything, it will be reviewed and you will have a decision emailed to you, a letter. Once you get the decision, if you are accepted, there will be a submit to intent and to enroll form. On that form, that's where you select yes, that you want to enroll, or no, you do not want to enroll. If you select yes, then you schedule an academic advising appointment with your advisor, and they will go over all the transfer credits and all the classes you would have to register for. And then they would also help you register for courses. Tuition is not due at the time of registration for courses. And I will help you as one of the enrollment specialists, myself and my coworker, Tracy Souza, will help you with all the process step by step.
So regarding student support services, our online orientation is called Coursera 101. Coursera, by the way, is a pirate, which is our mascot. So there's why we call it Coursera 101. And one great thing about online education is that because so much of our lives are now online, getting oriented, knowing where things are in the online world is pretty seamless and intuitive. So if you've bounced around Amazon or your favorite online vendor, chances are you can bounce around our website and find where things are. That being said, I still recommend the orientation so that you're more familiar with finding all the resources you need to be successful. After I onboard a student, I'll often send them to another orientation series of videos. Coin 101, that's our registration software, so that you can see your advisement report in Coin, your bill, your financial aid, all of that stuff. So we have many resources there to help you orient to everything that you need. Student Accessibility Services oversees the compliance with legal mandates in Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act for students with documented disabilities. For a student to receive accommodations, they must self-disclose to that office. And what I like to say here is make no mistake, accommodations can be made for students, whether you're an online student or a face-to-face student, accommodations can be made. And now it's a little different with online students insofar as they're not coming to campus every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for their English from 8 to 8:50. So in that regard, I encourage all of my advisees to be proactive and reach out early. Professors are people too, and they understand that life happens, tires go flat, kids get sick, all that sort of stuff. So being proactive usually leads to a positive outcome. Academic advising is typically about, again, courses remaining to graduation, meeting every semester to talk about upcoming courses that you want to take, where they fit on your advising guide. But it can encompass other policy matters. We're all versed in that, our advising staff. You're required to meet with an advisor every fall and spring to review your progress, your curriculum, and discuss, again, future courses. And along with the convenience of online education is the immediacy of email. So we're online every day, just like you, which means you can get pretty much your questions answered within the hour sometimes. Sometimes it might be a drag to not get a question answered after 5 o'clock, but get it answered the very next morning. So we're online just like you, which means you get your questions answered very quickly, which can help as you're trying to navigate finishing your degree. So we know you're busy just like us. So we want to get that stuff to you as quickly as possible, and we're here to support you and provide the resources you need to complete your degree.
Speaking back to being recognized as a one of the more affordable options for pursuing your education, specifically online, our tuition rate is competitively priced, and at the current rate for the 2022 and 2023 academic year, depending on which class, your tuition overall is $1,026 for a 3-credit course. There are some fees, and it brings you to a total sum of just shy of $1,300 or $1,400 for a 3-credit course. Broken down, if you're doing a comparison, you're looking at about $425 to $460 per credit, depending on how many credits you would need to earn to or complete to earn your degree will then give you an idea of what your investment in your education will be. That will be shared when you do make your appointment after being accepted into the program by completing your application and having it reviewed. When you connect with Shannon and his team, one of their advisors, they will then map out what exactly you'll have left. And then from there, we can help calculate what that would mean at the current rate for your tuition investment. To help you determine how to finance your classes, we do encourage all students to submit a federal application to the government. It's the FAFSA form. What's most important about that is that some students will feel that they are not eligible because perhaps their household income they feel is maybe too high, or maybe they feel like they've maxed out their funding that was available from prior schools. Let the government make that decision for you by submitting your application online. It is based on your income of 2 years ago. So it's on you for this 2023 academic year. Your federal funding will be based on your 2021 taxes. We also then encourage you to explore opportunities that you have with your employer for the tuition employer reimbursement. Many employers are in a position where they are seeking to recruit and retain employees. It is an employee market right now. So it's a great opportunity to go back to your manager, the owner of the business, human resources, and share with them what your educational goals are and how it would benefit perhaps their company, and would they be open to supporting you through some type of reimbursement benefit. Also a great opportunity to bring that into discussion as you are looking for possible change of employers or career advancement. The college also offers payment plans, and students will do a combination of utilizing payment plans with financial aid as well as employer benefits. Some will perhaps decide not to borrow from the government if they're only eligible for a loan and seek our payment plans as an option to finance their education, and then later realize they had wished they had taken out the loan or the grant that the government had awarded them, which at that time, you're welcome to go back to the financial aid office and ask for that to be reviewed again and reinstated. So very much like our academic schedule, the options for financing your education really is tailored to what you need for your personal budget and your personal needs. We, again, work very closely with students for the veteran benefits. We encourage you to connect with your local representative if you have that relationship with him or her. If not, we do have our resources here, office that is open both to students and prospective students to explore what educational benefits you have for the service if you are a veteran or a member of a family member, to help utilize that towards your tuition. And lastly, we do have the Ryan Reese Scholarship for online undergraduate students, which I will ask Shannon to speak a little bit more about this opportunity that will surface sometime after you've begun your studies here at UMass.
Sure. Ryan Reeves was a former online student in our liberal arts program. Ryan passed away too early, but his family decided to dedicate a scholarship in his name, and that's available every semester to online students. So we encourage all of our online students to apply for that scholarship program. It does have some entrance requirements. You need a pretty strong GPA, and you need to have earned some credits at UMass Dartmouth. So students in their first semester typically aren't going to be eligible. But again, we have a scholarship solely for online students with that generous donation from the Ryan Reeves family, and we encourage you to apply for that scholarship every semester.
Thank you.
Sure.
Next, I'll ask Julie to speak to you about some of the additional resources that we have here at the college as you look to consider enrollment and later on if you do choose to enroll with us. Julie?
Yes, so we have our office, online and continuing education. There is our email address with our main phone number. We also have Student Service Center. They're the ones that would help you with registration problems. If you have any holes in your accounts, they're the ones that could help you. And that office is using an online ticket system to connect with the representative. So if you submit a ticket on that website, someone will get back to you. Same thing with financial aid. Any questions about financial aid, that's the office you want to acquire. And they also work on a ticket system and they will get back to you as well. Now, the Veterans Affairs is for people who are veterans and they want to know what their benefits are for attending an online course. That's the office you want to attain. And if you want to keep in touch with me, my name is Julie Anderson. There is my email address, my phone number, Shannon Gordon Scott. That's his email address with his phone number. And again, if you don't get a hold of me or Shannon, there's also an online and continuing education main number and phone number.
So at this time, this concludes the formal presentation of what we wanted to share with you today. And we are now opening it up to questions in hopes to provide you the information that you're looking for. We do have a couple of questions in the chat, and one is asking about the tuition. If they live outside of Massachusetts, what is the tuition rate for non-state students?
Mhm. It's the same for anybody. There's no difference.
Okay, so regardless of where you reside, because it is an online program, whether you live in California, Rhode Island, or Alaska, you are paying the same tuition that Massachusetts students would also be paying, which is a great benefit. Another question here is approximately how long would it take once the application process is complete to receive a response about the enrollment decision or invitation to enroll?
It's usually right. It's usually within the week or so, or even quicker than that.
Thank you. And is there a deadline for applying for fall 23?
There is no deadline. It's rolling admissions.
We do encourage you, though, to the sooner you apply, the more opportunity you have to connect with the advisors. Our advisors are a great team, but just like any organization, there are certain peak times that we are busy, and we do want you to connect with them at a time that works for you, as well as for them to review your transcripts and really get the full information of what it takes for you to earn your bachelor's degree. And the other question is, what is the makeup of the classroom, meaning like what is the average class size? You know, are there typically adult learners or 18-year-olds that are in the classroom? If Shannon, if you could maybe speak to the type of student who we have within our program.
Sure. Our population is a lot of degree completers, transfer students. So they are what we call non-traditional, typically older, typically employed. Some will have children. So I think you can get a sense of in your online classes that the population again is going to be non-traditional, and that's going to really kind of widen and broaden the opinions and the perspectives that you're going to get. So it would be one thing in a CJS online class talking about justice with someone who's 18 as opposed to someone who's 36 and is maybe working as a paralegal. So all that's really going to benefit students in this program. And I think as far as class sizes, it's going to vary. It's going to vary by the course. I think some business courses might top out at 25 students. Some courses, we know that if they're required, we might go over the maximum enrollment a little bit with the permission of the professor. So it might go from 25 to 28. Typically, courses have an upper limit just because the professor can only handle, grading so many papers. But we are very good about opening sections of new courses if we need to, because again, we know our students want to get in and they want to graduate. They don't have time to mess around. So we know that oftentimes we need to open second sections of courses. But you might be in a course that is maybe going toward a humanities requirement. You might only have 10 students in there. So that's very, intimate interaction with your professors and your fellow students. Again, online courses are, even though they're asynchronous, you're not going to want for rigor. You're not going to want for contact with other students. They're going to be in those courses.
So it looks like at this point that has been all the questions that have been asked. And unless there's any other questions, this will end our session. Again, we do thank you for your time that you took today to be here with us today. We encourage you to reach out to your enrollment specialist, Julie Anderson, or her colleague, Tracy, and you will have received communication from either Julie or Tracy to date. Do you ask them any additional follow-up questions, anything about your admissions status, and then eventually they will then connect you over to the advising side, at which point you will have your file reviewed and ultimately will enroll in classes if that is what you choose to do. So we do look forward to supporting you with your educational goals and do look forward to seeing your application come to us and hearing back from you. Thank you, and we appreciate your time.